Celebrations are one of the best ways for players to express themselves when they're playing football, which is why it is no surprise that EA Sports decided to put a heavy emphasis on celebrations in the upcoming College Football 25. Recently, a list of all the celebrations, some team-specific ones, as well as just some general ones for each scenario where you're going to celebrate, such as an interception or touchdown, they have been put out on a list a couple days ago, which is why today I'm going to go through each one and break it down so you know exactly what's coming when the game comes out soon. With that being said, let's get straight into the video. First on the list is a celebration called Vibes for when you score a touchdown. I'm not really sure what this would look like. It's probably just, a dance that EA made up. I don't really know of any celebration in real life called Vibes. Maybe it's something we know by a different name. The next one is Shoot the Arrow, which is pretty self-explanatory. The celebrations. Quarterbacks do it sometime where you reach into, the arrow holder on your back, I guess. Pull out the arrow, pull it back, and shoot it. So that's another touchdown one. So you'll probably see that. And I want to say the first four are just the 4 right stick directions: up, right, down, and left. So these are probably the most basic standard ones that you can do quickly. And then we'll go into the more niche ones probably later on. The next one is called Jacked, which I assume is probably just flexing your muscles, your biceps, or whatever when you score. Then it's Ice in My Veins, which is probably the celebration like J.R. Smith or someone where you point at your wrist or your forearm, and that's probably all it is. And those are the 4 main ones. So moving on will be 4 that are L2, and then the same thing where you're going right stick up, right, down, and left. So with that being said, the first one is Tiger Swag, and off the top of my head, I don't know exactly what it is. I'll put a clip after I record this to show you guys if I can find something about it, but it's something to do with tigers. Next is I Can't Hear You, so it's probably putting a hand up to your ear, maybe shushing the crowd, something like that. The King will probably be putting a crown on your head, or maybe it could even be a duo celebration with one of the other players where you're putting the crown on another player's head, the player that scored. Then the last one with L2 is Strike a Pose, which is most likely the Heisman pose that we saw in the gameplay reveal. So there's no other ones that have Heisman in the name, so I assume Strike a Pose means the Heisman pose. So that's what we have for the next 4. Then we have L1 plus the 4 directional, right stick. I've said it over and over again. Is Who Cares? Right stick up with L1, which I don't know what that would actually look like. It's probably nothing too crazy, Then it's Cross Up, which is probably like basketball crossing up, where I don't know if you'll use the ball. I don't think you will, because I think you will get a flag in the real game if you do that. So it's probably just, pretending to cross up like Myles Garrett does sometimes, Then it's Time. Probably something like tapping the watch or something. That's my best guess, is just tapping your wrist like you're checking the time or something. And then Head Swag. Could mean anything. Could be a dance. I'm not sure exactly. Once again, if I can find something online, I'll put a clip, but I'm not exactly sure. I just want to mention again that all of these so far have been touchdown celebrations. I'll tell you when it goes to interception and, the other ones. So for now, though, we're continuing with touchdowns, and these are R2 plus the right stick directional. First one is Wave Goodbye, and these next 4 are actually probably one of the most toxic ones out of the whole thing, but Wave Goodbye, pretty self-explanatory once again. You're waving to the crowd. Probably in an away game you would use this. It's probably when you're up big. I don't know, you could probably use it whenever. I don't think they'll stop you, but it would make the most sense if you did it when you're up big, probably when you're on the road. Next is Little Baby, and once again, you probably know the celebration already, rock the baby, cradle, you do that maybe after you head tap someone or something along those lines. And then it's On Its Head, same thing, tapping your head, maybe even pointing at the DB or receiver. Well, it would be the DB because it is a touchdown celebration, so like I said, those are pretty toxic. And then the final R2 one is Put 'Em to Sleep, which is probably something like, putting your hands up to your face or something along those lines. Finally, these last 4 touchdown celebrations are R1 plus, up, right, down, and left. So the first one is Point to Fans. Again, very, very self-explanatory. I shouldn't even need to explain it. Point at the fans is all I can really say. Come At Me Bro is the next one, which could be like point at yourself, something like that. I mean, it's up in the air what it exactly is, but it's probably something like that where you're, saying basically come at me, bro. I don't know. Next is Mic Drop. It's like the Fortnite emote, if you know. So you're tapping the mic, drop it. Invisible mic, obviously. But the last touchdown celebration is Salute or Show the Ice, which is Colorado only. And this one a lot of people were laughing at just because of how much EA is going all in on Colorado. A little bit of a rant here, but bear with me. Shedeur should not be the top ranked quarterback in the whole game, and Travis Hunter's up there too, but this Shedeur thing, like Carson Beck, is just so much better than Shedeur. There's no reason they should be the same rank. I'm not saying, I did predict this in an earlier video. I said that they were going to boost Shedeur's ratings, but at the end of the day, it's their game. But Colorado's overall, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter deserves it. I will give him that. He's like a 95, but other than that, they really don't deserve it. And now they have their very own celebration. I guess it's fun. If you want to play as Colorado, you have all these bonuses. They'll probably have crazy cards in Ultimate Team as well, so it is what it is. But this is the only celebration that's team specific. You can't do it as any other team. It has to be Colorado, so oh well, I guess. But we're moving on now to the first down celebrations. Once again, there are only 4 of these, so it's just the right stick 4 ways. You don't have to press any other buttons. The first one is Signal It. Probably you've seen it in Madden 100 times, where they just put their hand forward, maybe they drop the ball. Next is Touch 'em Up, which I actually don't know what that means at all. If I have a clip, I'll show it, but probably not. I think that's probably an EA specific thing. I don't think that exists in real life. Then there's Jacked, which we already covered. I guess it's a first down celebration too, where you're flexing your muscles, stuff like that. And then finally Shake It Off, which is probably just shaking like your arms a little bit or something. I don't know. There's a lot of up in the air, but these are just my predictions. We'll see on Tuesday or Monday at 5, whatever you want to say. Finally, the last 4 are all interception celebrations, and the first one is Wave Goodbye. Once again, someone that I've already covered. We saw it earlier where you're waving goodbye to the fans when you score. So the inverse of this, maybe you get a pick with a minute left and you're up 3, and now you just kneel the ball down and win the game. So you could do that probably when you're on away. I guess maybe when you're at home. I don't know though. Probably most of the time it's going to be when you're on the road. Next is Why You Throwing My Way, which could be just like shrugging or something. This one is kind of ambiguous. I really can't tell what the actual motion would be because the name is kind of off. The second to last one is Strapped. It's like the seatbelt, or put the sword away, whatever you want to call it, where they strap over their chest and stuff. You've seen it if you watch football at all. Finally, the last one is Head Swag, which we saw earlier a while back, but I don't know exactly again what it actually looks like, so it could really be anything. But now I want to move on and talk about some of the celebrations that I feel they should have added and left out, as well as some of the ones weren't my ideas, but other people were saying online that they should have had in the game. The first one is Horns Down, and it could be like the Colorado one where you can only do it when you're playing against Texas, but maybe they didn't want to do it because it's a little too toxic, or it's directed at one program. Colorado's is for themselves, if you can kind of understand what I mean, whereas the Horns Down is calling out a specific program. So I guess I can get why they wouldn't want to add it. Another one I would like to see is hand the ball to someone in the crowd, sign the ball, maybe even just like hand the ball to someone in the crowd. I think would be cool if they had some of the prop celebrations. And then another one I would like to see is the Gritty, because that's a staple of FIFA, Madden, all types of games, Fortnite even. The Gritty would be fun to see in this game, but sadly, at least right now, this moment, it is not in College Football 25, which is a little bit sad, but I guess I'll live with it. It's not going to ruin the game for me. But that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, we only have about 4 or 5 days until we finally get to play this game. And then I'll turn my content to, making videos about the game instead of just speculation over and over again. But thank you so much for watching if you didn't make it this far, and I will see you in the next one.